JEJU just got some new skills, and these are the best ones. Let's talk about it. What's good, YouTube? NoGoodEman here, coming to you today with a QTE runes video. So guys, JEJU just got QTE runes, and honestly, I was just reading them, and they're super freaking insane, guys. We need to just go ahead and get straight into the QTE skills, talking about them and everything in between. But before we do, make sure you guys leave a like on the video. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Turn on post notifications so you don't miss a live or an upload. Now, guys, the first thing to note, we do want to talk about Shadow Step just really quickly. Obviously, this doesn't have a rune attached, but the trigger conditions to Shadow Step did change a little bit. So you guys can now actually activate Shadow Step upon your enemy entering the break shade or using a shadow skill, meaning when you guys summon your shadows, you can now use Shadow Step. When your enemy enters the break state, you guys can now use Shadow Step. So it's honestly pretty insane. That note, you definitely want to get that and just know when to use Shadow Step. Honestly, it's way easier. The activation conditions are super easier. But guys, let's go ahead and talk about collapse. And before we talk about anything, I just want to throw out a very long-term prediction. The next update I am throwing out, NoGoodEman is predicting that JEJU Island will be weak to fire. Remember that for a little bit later. Just remember that point. Remember that sentence out loud, right? It's talking about collapse QTE runes. Let's go ahead and talk about surprise attack. If we preview this, JEJU teleports and appears above the enemy, then strikes downward to subdue them. This one's gonna do a nice amount of damage for a QTE rune. We're talking 1380. Not only is it gonna do that, it's actually gonna deal weak break. It's gonna knock down the opponent and then inflict a resonance effect on the target as well. And something very cool about this one, when the target is in a break state, so when you guys do finally break their break gauge, JEJU's damage dealt increases by 10% for 20 seconds. What the heck? Yo, I'm gonna be real, guys. I literally was playing without QTE runes for like the last 2 days of the update. I'm an idiot, but that's neither here nor there. Surprise attack is very cool, and it just gets crazier. And here is why I said I think JEJU Island is about to be fire weakness, because the collapse skill under Surge is literally insane. So JEJU is going to fill the right palm with fire magic, then unleash it on the ground as an AoE attack. Afterward, a large explosion erupts from the ground. This is going to do 900 damage, which, looking at it, it is a little bit low. But if we scroll down, these last 2 bullet points make this skill something to look forward to in the near future. When the user uses this skill, it activates an effect that increases the damage of Surge by 5%, duration infinite, stacking up to 20 times. So Surge has a potential at max to have an 100% damage increase to the skill, guys. That is literally freaking insane. And not only that, when this skill hits as a critical hit, 1 instance of Surge's 5% damage increase is applied. So this honestly helps you get your stacks even more. This is mainly why I say I think JEJU Island is about to be fire weakness, because honestly, reading throughout all these runes and seeing the elementals behind them, guys, I honestly think JEJU Island, there's no way, right? There's just no way. What do you guys think? If you made it this far to the video, comment what you think JEJU Island is going to be. I know that's a little off topic, but I think it's going to be fire weakness. Go ahead and comment what you think. If we get into the next one, we're talking about Thunderstorm under collapse. This one, JEJU is going to unleash multiple lightning bolts from above, followed by a mighty thunderclap. It's going to do 1836, so it's currently the highest damage scaling one. When elemental damage, when the user attacks an enemy that does not have a break gauge, it will increase the damage of Thunderstorm by 70%, which is pretty cool. But when the user hits an enemy that's in a break state, it increases the damage of Thunderstorm by 100%. So you guys actually want to time this on enemies while they're in their break state. So while they're taking that knee or while they're in that groggy state, once you finally break their break gauge, this might be the perfect time to use Thunderstorm. This is going to be perfect for enemies like Baron, Workshop of Brilliant Light for sure. So definitely utilize this. I have this on Heroic right now, so we're definitely going to equip that so the big boy Baron can kind of, get done a little bit easier. And then the last one, we're talking compress. Now compress, starting with the enemy in front of him, JEJU strikes downward towards his enemies with a powerful energy. The energy then explodes, dealing AoE damage. Now this one, honestly, the skill looks pretty cool. As far as the damage and what it does, it's gonna do 1000% of Genu's attack right now. And then as far as the skills, it's gonna knock down the opponent, it's gonna knock them down, right? When the final hit lands, the enemy's break gauge instantly decreases by 3%. So definitely it's a cool skill to be using. I do think that this skill does have some merit because it's an instant decrease of 3%. So it's a hard number. So I think you can definitely utilize that. This will be a good skill for, let's say if you're super in the red, that will help you. So this is something similar to Fatal Strike. I really like this skill. This will definitely help a lot of players, a lot of free-to-play light spenders alike that deal with harder, higher endgame content. Now, if we move on to death, right, because that's only one half of the video, let's go ahead and get into the QTE runes for death. We're talking about Overshadow. JEJU hides and creates shadows in a wide area, then slashes the enemy. The shadows then attack all at once, dealing powerful damage. And it's doing a good amount at level 7 plus 3. It's doing 836. And then as far as the specific skill to this one, when the user uses Overshadow, it consumes HP equal to 15% of their current HP and increases their skill damage by 100%. Guys, increases their skill damage by 100%. I had to say that again so you guys don't think I just read that super mundanely. That is important. 100% skill damage increase when we have skills like magnifying shadow in our pocket is crazy. So definitely that's something to keep note of. You definitely want to use your Overshadow skill if you can time it. Definitely there's going to be better rotations when it comes to using your QTEs, using your shadow steps. So there's going to be a new burst order for you guys that's OGs of the channel. Maybe this might be the time for a burst guide actually, but hey, if you guys want the burst guide, just let me know. If we keep it moving though, we're talking about extinction. I actually do not have this one just yet, but JEJU is going to go after the airborne target and then quickly slash in a wide area. Afterward, he strikes the ground powerfully. So this one is going to do a nice amount of things. But what I do want to note is that this one deals attack decrease to the target. I think this is a very good QTE skill, guys. This is super important. And I'm a whale, right? So some of you guys might be like, wait, why do you care if a target's attack is decreased? Guys, this is super important for things like guild boss, things like higher endgame content. If you're in the red and if your opponent one-shots you, has a problem one-shotting you, that is a problem, right? But more specifically, I see this being useful in guild boss 1000% as players get those higher rages. Keep in mind, guild dragon Faulkner gets stronger with each rage. So as players get higher rage counts, Guild boss Faulkner is literally going to get to one-shotting players, eventually one-shotting hunters and everything in between. So a QTE like this, like death, will be, or not death, but extinction under death will be very good. And then more specifically, let's be real, guys, we might need this for Beru. All right, Beru is coming very soon, so we're gonna need all the defense decrease and everything in between. And let's keep it going with Squall. After slashing several times at the speed of sound, JEJU performs an X-shaped slash towards the front. So this one's gonna do medium break damage, and then when this skill hits, it activates the corrosion effect. And then the corrosion effect, it's gonna increase your break effectiveness by 5% for a duration of 8 seconds. I don't really like this one a little bit too much, but definitely I can see this being useful in like quicker situations. I do see this being useful in like maybe Battle for the Time when you're trying to get those fast speed runs, break bar pretty fast. So definitely, I don't want to say it's useless anymore. I kind of just talked myself out of it. Now, last but not least, guys, we have Ice Strike. So JEJU summons an ice prison to pierce the enemy. Afterward, he slashes in a wide area and then strikes down powerfully. Now, what this will do a good amount of things. When it hits, it'll airborne the target, it'll freeze the target, and then it'll increase damage dealt to targets inflicted with freeze by 80%. That is nothing to glance over. I will say it's kind of reminiscent of like the Thetis' Grimoire freeze skill, just a tad bit, and then the freeze duration is up to 2 seconds. So that's something to note. I do want to say, while you are probably slicing them, they're probably frozen then. I don't know, because like I said, I haven't equipped any single rune and used use them. But guys, if we do want to talk about the best runes that you want to be equipping for death, definitely it will depend. But for like just meta for endgame content, I will say Overshadow is probably going to be a lot of people's metas. And then for you guys that's, you know, struggling to clear hard endgame content, or you're playing guild boss, you definitely want to equip Extinction. I need to get Extinction whenever I can. For you guys that's playing like Battle for the Time or even a little bit of Workshop or Brilliant Light, you will definitely benefit from Squall. And then Ice Strike can definitely be beneficial situationally if you do have a hard time, you know, beating enemies, or your enemy is kind of just dashing all around you. You kind of want to slow down the battle, control it a little bit more. You can definitely benefit from using Ice Strike. Now, if we talk about the collapse QTE runes, the best one here that I want to say again, guys, Surge. I think Surge is honestly going to be an insane rune. I think it's going to literally be the meta for freaking JEJU Island, right? And keep in mind, guys, this I'm saying this looks crazy at freaking not heroic, but rare. I haven't even looked at the legendary variant, so let's just like really quickly look at the legendary variant, because I literally think this might even get crazier. Oh my gosh, 15% stacking up to 20 times, guys. We're talking up to 300% damage increase to the Surge skill. Guys, so this is literally going to be one of the greatest skills in the game. I'm not even kidding with you. Surge, just be on the lookout, guys. I'm telling you right now, I do think Surprise Attack is also a very good skill that you do want to consider using if you're not using Surge. And then Thunderstorm is very good right now in the current win meta for Workshop of Brilliant Light, that Barn content, so you guys definitely want to utilize it there. But guys, with that in mind, and then of course I don't want to forget about Compress. Compress is very good, but honestly it's kind of like Fatal Strike. It's more so situational, and then if you're in lower CP, you can't beat that higher content, you're in the red, that is when this is more so useful. But with that in mind, what do you guys think of Sunjinu's newest QTE runes? I want to say the devs did cook up, because it finally added some variety to these newer older skills. It makes these old skills feel new, honestly. But go ahead and leave your thoughts, theories, and comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, and with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Y'all take care. Peace.